Well, hi, welcome to this week's update. Now, there's not a lot to be said today, and I'm actually waiting for the markets to open in a few hours' time for the Asian session and then go into the aftermarket session on the NASDAQ and the other stock indexes, and then open up for the European session in about 12 hours' time from now, when the market will really get moving. So we had quite a quiet day on Friday, quiet end to the week. We had a lot of drama and a lot of action going on during the week with interest rates and GDP and that sort of thing, and the US officially slipping into a recession. No surprise to anyone, I don't think. But I'm just taking it easy today, so I thought I wasn't going to make a video, but I thought I'd make a quick one. And I did say to members that I'll be doing my weekly report. Well, the beginning of the week for Monday, on Monday morning when the European markets open. I've also got a bit of a head cold, so I'm not feeling great, but there's not an awful lot to be said anyway, so that's not too bad. But let's just go through very quickly. This will probably be the shortest ever weekly update, and then I'll be sending out my report at the opening of the London session at around about 9 a.m. London time, or just prior to that, or just after that. So NASDAQ, well, we're at very key levels. We had a sudden rush up on Thursday and Friday, right up to this resistance level. I'm actually in this slightly short at the moment, and just really testing the waters here to see what's going to happen. And if you remember, we looked back at previous resistance levels and support. This level here, just under 13,000, is such a key level. And I wouldn't be surprised now that we've tested it if, and I think this is probably the most likely scenario, we just push up through it a little bit on the market opening a little bit later on today. Bear this in mind. This is a really important observation, and I'm not going to go into the technical details too much, but you can see just above where we are is the 50% retracement. That's just around 13,200. We're at about 13,000 at the moment. 13,000, 12,800, 900 is the key resistance level. Major support, major resistance, kind of the dividing line between a bull market and a bear market, or you might say a bullish rally or a bearish counter rally. This is the level that we're at right now. It's incredibly key. But we have the 50% Fibonacci just above us at just around 13,200. I think what's going to happen, we're going to rally up through there, through this area, through where we are now in the market, pre-market opening. In a few hours' time, we're going to touch to around 13,200, and then we'll start to retrace from there back downwards again. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't really know. Of course, this is such an important level, and why I say the market's probably going to push through is because of the nature of this level. And we need to clear out a few short hands here, I think. And so the market's going to push up, take out quite a lot of stop losses if we manage to move up through here. I think 13,200, that's the area to be selling. It's even worth trying a little bit now. So I'm in a little bit right now. I'm going to have a look at a bit more, 13,180, looking to go short. But I'm going to reserve that judgment in its entirety rather. In other words, I think that's my judgment, but I'm going to hold back a bit until the market opening. Gold, same situation. Now, all of these markets are incredibly key levels. Gold's at this long-term downward trend line. And I haven't drawn it in here, but I've got a Fibonacci. I'm just actually going to do it whilst we're here. So if we draw the Fib from that peak to this last recent low, you can see we've got exactly the same situation as the NASDAQ. Very key level right here, just above us. We'll probably break through this trend line, touch this level at around 1790, somewhere around there. It's a previous support and resistance, the 50% fib, or slightly through it, in fact. But that's the area to be looking out for. And I think we'll see a slight rise in gold and then perhaps an attempt back down again. And I think that's going to follow the stock markets. Everyone's got their eye on the stock market at the moment because Well, it's the big number. It's the and if we have a look at this, the S&P as well, you'll see a similar situation. I don't have the S&P on here. Now, one position that I am in, and this is the British pound Canadian dollar. I'm long on this. I'm actually tempted to load up a bit more. You can see I've got a very small position here. This is on my challenge account. Go and have a look at my website. There's some interesting info on there and on the YouTube channel that you're on at the moment. But there's the position I've got on this pair, and I'm actually looking to perhaps add a little bit more. This is my favorite pair of the week so far, and it's looking really good. Beautiful bottom in place, broken through that support area, tested down beneath multiple times, and a beautiful U-shaped bottom, and we're at a very, very long-term support level overall, and we're also incredibly oversold. So for me, this is a great opportunity to be buying British pound Canadian dollar. As you can see, I'm long, very slightly long, but I think I'm going to add a little bit more at the market open. That's a very key currency for this coming week for me to trade. So that'll be featuring strongly in my reports. Now, let's have a look at the other ones. Let's just see what else we've got here. All right, so the other one is natural gas. Hang on, that's the NASDAQ. So I'm actually away on holiday at the moment, and with a cold, so I'm doing my best here, just bear with me. So there we go, natural gas. I'm short on this one from around the top. I've also got a short position in from over here. Not much else to be said from there, apart from what's in my report. I believe that we've reached, or we're pretty close to a top on natural gas, and that we're going to see a pullback back down into the 4s, 5s, and 6s, and maybe even down to the 3.5 sort of level. So I'm short on that one. Nothing's changed. I've been updating on that. Euro, US dollar, same sort of thing. Actually, I think this is looking pretty bullish. So again, I'm going to wait for the Asian session and pre-market trading in stocks and the Asian session and currencies a bit later on. But this one looks good for a buy. So I think we've got a nice bottom in place. We're holding above the support. We're forming this top, constantly bashing up against it, not getting anywhere. We've certainly got lots of space up above us to this red line at 1.035 and quite possibly up to this sort of level up here, 1.038. So I think my overall positions on here, although it's very, very difficult to tell, I'm actually torn. Technically, the charts look great for buy positions on the British pound. We're talking currencies now, apart from, so we've talked about gold and NASDAQ. To me, they look like we could be selling those, which is counterintuitive when you look at the currencies. But when you look at British pound, Canadian dollar, definitely a long for me. Natural gas, we talked about, that's a short. Euro against the US dollar kind of looks long, but it's difficult to tell. I think we'll find out in the next few hours. British pound, well, I've got nothing going here. We had a funny day on Friday with lots of ups and downs. We formed this dragonfly doji pattern, and we've had a few. In fact, there's one there. There's a whole bunch. There's a lot of uncertainty in this pair, as you can see from this area here. So, but generally, when you see it built into a trend, and this is going to sound ridiculous and ambiguous and non-committal, but it can either be a reversal pattern or a pretty good continuation pattern. And in this case, I would say that looks more like a continuation pattern to me, and that we'll see the pound begin to move up. So this, a lot of uncertainty on Friday, uncertainty throughout this entire period, all the way back here into sort of the end of June. We've had some down days, but we've had a lot of very wicky, spiky, doji, and uncertain sorts of candles all the way through here. Quite unusual for the pound, which is often more of a firm, decisive mover. We're not seeing that at the moment, which means that we should be a little bit cautious with it. Dollar Japanese yen, well, this was the big star last week, and we were short this. I think there's some more room for this to go down all the way down to 127, which is this red line down here. But again, I want to see what happens. And this is possibly the one that's going to move the most during the Asian session coming up in a couple of hours. And possibly the next move again on this one will be down. I think we need to at least test 131, this level here. So for me, that still looks like a short. Looks more certain that this will be short than the pound long, for example. So, and last and not least, for this quick brief update, soybeans, well, I'm short on this. So and no, not a lot of people that watch these videos trade commodities like soya and corn and wheat and oil and gas and so on. But sometimes there are some pretty good trade opportunities available. I like this pattern that we saw on Friday. So a rush up to the 78.6% fib, not quite getting there, but almost. And a very, very overstretched pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, just surging upwards without even a look back. A little look back at the top of Friday. So, yeah, overall, I'm pretty short on this. We've got a long way to go down, and I think we'll probably get some rain in the Midwest, because that's where the soya oil comes from, and we'll have some problem resolution in some of the other supply areas, I think. But we've got to come back down on this, and this is kind of almost an all-time high at around about $18. I think there's a level slightly above here, but not much. So that's what I'm on soya. And now my charts have just about failed because the internet's a little patchy. So overall, let me just summarize. NASDAQ, I think we're going to go up a bit today in the next few hours, and then test that level at 13,200, or just shy of that, 13,180, call it. Be a good place to try some shorts. I'm already short in this, so if we do get a little higher, I'll put on some better positions, some bigger positions. Gold, I think it's probably that probable. Look, we might fail at this trend line, or otherwise push up to 1780, 1790. I don't really know. I'd prefer to be just waiting this out. I might have a go short at those levels, 1790 if we get there, and if we dip back down to these previous lows at about 1685, which is where we bought last time. So we got a good move out of that on the way up. Can we get a bit out of it on the move down? If we do get a move down, maybe, I don't know. Pound Canadian dollar, my favorite. I think this is going to be the best one for the upcoming week, along with the euro. So those two currencies, if we're talking currencies, for those of you who just trade currencies, those are my two favorite. Pound Canadian dollar, euro, US dollar. But again, I'm going to wait. I'm already long on this one, but I might add some more on. I'm just thinking about it whilst I'm looking at this. And the same with the euro. I might add a little bit more on there, just a little bit. But I'm interested to see what happens during the Asian session and the start of the London session. Pound, no, I'm not happy with that one. Don't like the look of it. Dollar yen, yeah, I think it's going to go down. I think we've got some way to go down to 131 and then 127. But I think we got our pound of flesh out of some of the yen pairs last month. Or it's actually still this month. We haven't started August just yet, but I'm saying last month is over. So I think that's what we'll be looking at, this going down, but I don't want to risk that. So currencies, pound Canadian dollar, euro, US dollar. And you've heard the rest of my stuff on the others. So I'm a bit hoarse, but stuffy in the nose and a little bit tired. So that's it for today. But for those of you who are members, watch out for my report at around about the beginning of the London session. But I think if you want to start trading later on tonight, most of my clients aren't in the East, so they probably won't be trading until tomorrow anyway. So, but if you do want to trade tonight and add something on, and you're bored and you've got nothing else to do, and you're willing to take a bit of a risk, and you just have to sit on your hands, otherwise you're going to trade, those are the two, pound Canadian, and Euro US. Those are the interesting ones for now, and I might just put a little bit more on both of those prior to the market opening with a limit or a stop order. I'll have a look more closely. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Oh, and by the way, go to my website. Please go to the YouTube channel. I put a lovely new video up there for you, which I think you'll find interesting. And actually, if you are watching this video, you're already on the YouTube channel, so go and have a look for that one called the $100,000 Challenge. And now, before I fall off my bed in search for a Disprin, an aspirin, or a Panado, I'll end off. Take care.